The Senate tax bill's headed for a marathon debate after Republican leaders brought the measure to the floor, hoping for a final vote by the end of the week. Well, joining us from Washington with the latest is Bloomberg Congress reporter Joe Sobczyk. Joe, saw you digging in for what may be a long night. I think we've got another procedural vote coming up at the top of the next hour. What can we expect there?
Well, there's been a bit of drama in the Senate. The vote was held up for about an hour as they were negotiating with the Senate parliamentarian over the rules for including what's known as a trigger that would have increased taxes if the growth estimates that they're based on, the tax bill is based on, didn't come to fruition. Right now, they're going back and having to do some rejiggering of the bill. And they're talking about writing in some automatic tax increases sometime in the future, but it's still unclear whether it be corporate taxes, a slight step up in the corporate rate, step up in the individual rates, or some other things involving pass-throughs, or some combination thereof. That, however, while it will satisfy some of the deficit hawks in the Senate, is likely to cause some consternation among other senators, and certainly in the House, where conservatives have a little bit more sway on what is in the final bill.
So then, Joe, what is the timeline now? What are we talking about here before we possibly will get to a vote?
Well, it's looking more and more like that's not going to come till tomorrow, sometime during the day, perhaps even into the evening. They still have not gotten around to the what is called the vote-a-rama, dealing with all the amendments that people want to offer, and they can either cut off debate tonight and adjourn temporarily and come back at it tomorrow. But it's not looking like anything's going to happen tonight, perhaps in the overnight hours if they choose to stay in. But it's looking more and more likely it'll have to be tomorrow.
And is that unprecedented, Joe?
Well, no, there have been similar holdups back during the Bush administration with the Medicare. There was some long votes with Obamacare. This is a pretty complex piece of legislation that's been put together in a very quick period, just a matter of weeks rather than months, as similar legislation has taken. So such hangups are not that unusual, though this one may become problematic as we try to progress to negotiations with the House.